Hello, you're watching Q Focus, and I'm joined on the couch by Tim Newton. Hi, Tim. How you going?
Good.
Doug Pollard.
Hi there.
How are you?
Very well, thanks.
And our new friend, Patrick Bonello.
Correct.
Got that one right?
Yeah, got
Good,
that.
good. How are you, Patrick?
Very well, thank you.
Now, Christmas is almost upon us, the holiday season.
A silly season.
Yeah, but it's also the start of another of festivities, and that's gay festivities with out games, Chillout, Midsumma, all of that.
Not to mention Mardi Gras, even.
Not to mention Mardi Gras.
No,
So,
we don't go up there for that.
Well, a lot of Melbourne people do, of course. I mean, it is a big part of the calendar. And in fact, it's interesting because you mentioned Chillout. We've got our first Chillout after a 2-year break.
1 year break.
1 year break, so it's been 2 years. But a lot of people use Chillout as their recovery party, so to speak, from going to Mardi Gras.
I think the biggest problem, though, we've got all these events. They're all squeezed into 2 or 3 events because, I mean, I think people perceive that this is when the climate's best, the weather's the best. So bingo, bingo, bingo. And we've got Midsumma, we've got Pride, we've got the Human Rights Conference.
Which is part of Out Games.
Which is part of Out Games. And then we've got Midsumma, we've got Mardi Gras, Chillout. Where does all the money come from? We've got to keep on dipping our hands into our pockets. The pink pockets aren't that deep.
Oh, come on. I mean, it's not that expensive, and you don't have to go to everything. I mean, it doesn't cost anything to go on the Pride March.
All that fairy floss.
right.
Just buy a wig.
Do you think that it would be better spread out over the year, or is there a problem with having everything all concentrated into that period that's where it's chewing up the
Gay
money?
festival overload, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I just think everybody's trying to do everything at the same time because they perceive that the weather's always best, for these 2 or 3 months. But of course, the weather in Australia generally is okay throughout the year. We don't we sort of go into hibernation over winter. And all go off to the lead and all turn into bears. No offence, Doug.
I wish more of you would. I think you've got something slightly wrong here because you talk about Out Games and the Human Rights Conference and Midsumma and Pride as though they were separate things, and in fact this year they're not. This year they're all kind of folded in under the Midsumma umbrella.
Now, you were talking before about how funding is happening for the Out Games. It's different to
The gay games.
The gay games,
well,
in that it's like a franchise now.
Yeah, the old funding model doesn't work. We saw what happened with the Sydney Gay Games. Lots of promises, lots of money spent, lots of people ended up bankrupt because they were kind of over-ambitious. And that's indeed what led to the split between the Gay Games in Chicago and the Out Games in Montreal last year, because Gay Games thought that Montreal's plans were too grandiose and they were bound to fail, which in fact they did. But then again, so did Chicago's as well, because they had both games on at the same time. So this regional Asia-Pacific Out Games that's happening here in Melbourne is being done on a different model. Instead of there being one big central organisation doing all the organisation, getting in all the money, raising all the sponsorship, organising all the events, what they're effectively doing is franchising the thing.
There's such a history of gay events that don't sort of run at a profit or don't run at all. They're not run properly, they're not run well. And I think we seem to always be spreading ourselves very thin. Everybody's got an idea, everybody wants to put on a good festival. And we spread our resources and the skills very thin. So we have this very checkered history of events not running financially very well. I hope that changes.
Well, that's not true of Chillout. I've got to declare an interest here. I'm on board at Chillout this year and next year as well. Yes, there's another hat. I've got a whole hat rack full. Chillout's actually got money in the bank. Chillout's actually profitable. Chillout's well run.
You are the exception rather than the rule.
But what I'm saying is it's possible to do it.
But the other thing with Chillout, of course, is it's not centred around Melbourne per se.
No.
It's out of Melbourne. We're talking a regional area, Daylesford, and it's a very gay-focused area. If we're talking about any regional area that's got to be gay-focused, it's got to be that area.
The gayest little town in Victoria.
The question has to be, though, are there too many events? Do we have too many things we're meant to go to? Is the demand on the pink dollar too heavy?
I think Doug answered that already when he said that let's face it, the Out Games are a one-off for at least for this coming year, and the conference that goes with it is part of.
But Midsumma goes for what, 4 weeks or something? Outgames are going to go for 2.
Yeah, but it's during Midsumma.
It's the same time. It's part of the umbrella.
So how do we get to all these things?
You just pick and choose, like you would for anything else. I mean, something like Chillout's very different, because Chillout is meant to be a kind of all right, you've been to all the other big stuff.
Yeah.
Now you come to this slightly daggy out in the country, wind down after Mardi Gras, Midsumma, everything else.
And you mentioned it's like the coming down off Mardi Gras.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's a recovery party. It's a Mardi Gras.
Well, that's why it's called Chill
Chill
Out.
Out. Yeah, exactly.
That's what it's for.
I love having the choice. I love being able to go to all these different events. I love to be able to have the opportunity to try all these different opportunities. But I'm over here and then I'm over there, and I have to zip off to this function. They all seem to be on at the same time.
But then isn't that a good thing to have so much choice that you can choose?
But I worry that we're just spreading ourselves so thin.
Well, again, so what I said to you
Let's have
before
one
about...
or 2 really good festivals.
Okay,
I
so
think the
you're not
inference
talking
there,
about
though, is that
having
you're saying that these aren't good festivals. I think they're run really effectively. We know that Chillout is an exceptional organisation that's run profitably and has run exceptionally well. Midsumma's had a very good run. I think that
they've been teetering for so long.
Well, Midsumma made a loss, I think, last year,
That's
didn't
right.
they? And they only saved themselves the year before by dipping into the reserves.
But
there were reserves.
There aren't now.
So what happens now this coming year?
This coming year, they have to make a profit.
Yeah.
They have to make a profit this year. Because they don't have anything to fall back on now.
My understanding too last year was one of the issues related to money that had to be paid in the upkeep and maintenance of the area that they utilised, and that was drought related. The fact that the grounds had to be restored to the condition they were in when they prior to using them.
Well, they had all those catering issues too.
Yes, well that's also...
catering was absolutely.
Yeah, but that's also down to the Treasury Gardens. I mean, Treasury Gardens is not designated by the City Council as a space for public gatherings.
Yep.
Well, I think it's great that we have all these festivals. I just sometimes just always seem to see that our resources are always spread very thin. You go to all the different festivals and you see all the same people, and you see all the same volunteers turning up to run these things, and you see all the same stalls and the same people supporting them, the same people sponsoring them. And I just think sometimes it'd be really good if we could just maybe amalgamate some of these things.
Yeah, but there is some consolidation taking place, because Pride, for example, is now operating out of the same offices as Midsumma.
But 2 committees, 2 lots of volunteers.
There's a long history there.
I know. I get the history.
We don't want to go into the politics of that one, folks.
Yeah.
How long have we got?
I mean, we could be there all day if we just started discussing that. And all this thing about how Pride is a march and not a parade, which is, an old chestnut.
Yeah, but I tell you what, I reckon if Pride turned it into a parade, they would get a lot more people going to it.
And maybe get a lot more money.
Yeah, I think the public are sort of wanting a parade in Sydney. They've got the Mardi Gras and they really have a great festival and they put the whole thing together really well. But maybe in Melbourne it's time for a bit of a parade, a bit more of a celebration.
Are we ready for that, though?
Well, I'm opening a can of worms, I think.
Well, on that note, we'll have to leave it there. Thanks, Doug, Patrick and Tim.
Pleasure.
And
always a
I
pleasure.
have to go and save up for all the events.
Yeah, you will. But once it's over, you can breathe a sigh of relief and start saving again.
Hibernate.
For next year. All right. Thanks, boys. We'll see you next time on Studio Q.
Hi Stuart,
G'day Malcolm.
how are you?
Yeah, not too bad today.
Yeah, this is our premiere episode of Queer Sports Melbourne, and so we're here to talk about queer sport in Melbourne and what it can do for all of us in the community.
And how we're heading towards the Out Games. We're out at the Box Hill track. As you can see, the races going on behind me. I compete out here with a number of my friends for the Collingwood Harriers Athletics Club. It's a really good fun atmosphere. It's quite family. There's a really good level of competition as well as participation. My own events that I like doing are the walks, I also do distance runs, and occasionally, if I want to do a field event, I'll do a triple jump. It's really good fun, and I feel as a gay person I'm very well accepted in this sporting community. There's a number of other people here who I compete with in a gay club, such as front runners, as well as a ordinary club as part of the Athletics Victoria competition.
Hi, I'm Malcolm. I just ran a race at the Eastern Region Athletics for Athletics Victoria. I ran a 1500 metre race, and I'm one of your hosts of Queer Sport Melbourne, and I'm just here to tell you how the race was. And yes, it was pretty warm and windy out there, and I was in the second field heat. The first field was the really elite people, and I'm the next level down. And I took the race out hard and led most of the way, except for this young tacker from Box Hill. Got me on the line, probably half my age, but I ran a good race and I was pleased with the way I did, and I did a season's best, so pretty happy with that. So now I need to refresh. I'll have a bit of drink. Thank you.
So I've brought across one of my colleagues from the Collingwood Harriers Athletics Club. His name's Paul. Paul, how long have you been competing with Collingwood?
Collingwood probably about 10 years actually, so picked up athletics around that time. So my first competition was the Gay Games in Amsterdam. So,
and I hear you had a bit of success over there.
I have. As we've gone along, I've got a little bit better, so maybe, I don't know, they're slowing down, or I don't know what's happening. Sure.
And what are the big countries that compete in athletics in these meets?
Yeah, they're always the ones to beat, so the Texan team, so yeah.
I hear the outfits are pretty hot over there in Chicago and Montreal.
Yes, you won't see me in a one-piece outfit.
Now, not too many one-pieces out here today. Yeah, pretty traditional athletics clothes.
Yeah, more long distance running actually, but more a sprinter, but wear the conservative shorts. So.
And I've been noticing your shoes. Now, these are very impressive spikes.
Yeah, they're the new season, so yes.
Important to look good on the track?
I think so, yes.
Look, it's a really good question to ask. Why do people who are generally pretty comfortable competing in or participating in sporting competition need to actually enter into a gay and lesbian sporting club? This is a really fascinating question, and I think there's probably a few answers to it. One is the fact that we often didn't fit in team sports when we were at school. There's that whole embarrassment in the change room sort of thing, leave it alone, too hard. So I think as we move on in our lives, it's great to be able to actually reclaim some of the ground that maybe we lost when we were at school in those formative years. And I think that's why it's so important for gay and lesbian people to start competing in competition and participating in competition and really feel good about themselves and really lift their self-esteem.
And we're watching Heat 4 of the Men's Open 1500 metres, and Stuart from Front Runners is running in the race, and he's in the joint lead with Ivanhoe and I think that's Box Hill, and they're just going around to the first lap. Here we are on the second lap of the Men's Open 1500, and Stuart from Front Runners and Collingwood is leading the way, and he's setting a good pace there. Collingwood Harriers Athletics Club is very supportive of gays and lesbians in Athletics Victoria sport in the winter series for cross country and the summer series, which is track and field. And here's Stuart Kollmorgen powering to the finish. Victor in Heat 4, Men's Open 1500 metres. Come on Stuart, let's interview the man. Come on camera. Stuart, how do you feel after that race?
Really good.
Off the track, quick. There's more people running. Off the track. But you've got to go and run to the table. Get your result. Thank you. Ugh.
So, Queer Sports and Alliance Melbourne, what's it all about?
QSAM, Queer Sports Alliance Melbourne. Well, it's a group of Melbourne's gay and lesbian sporting clubs where we get together once a month and we talk about sport for members of the queer community, encouraging them to be active.
Now, Melbourne Frontrunners, that's one of the clubs?
That's right, and so is, that's which you're a member of, right? And so am I, and other clubs such as the Glamourhead Sharks.
Now, they're the swimmers?
Correct.
And the water polo players?
No, they're the Surge. They're another club.
Okay.
And there's other clubs such as the Melbourne Sparkers Volleyball Club, Ace Girls Tennis Club. And
those 69ers 10-pin bowlers.
Yes, sounds sexy, doesn't it?
So do you need to be a shit-hot sports person to be playing in this QSAM, in these clubs?
No, it's all sorts of levels. People from beginners, social people, up to elite athletes, such as yourself. We both laughed at that one. It encourages everyone to be involved, get active, rather than them sitting at home on the couch doing nothing. We just want people to get out there and get active and be fit and healthy.
So why can't these people get active and healthy just in an ordinary local club?
Oh, everyone can. You can get active and healthy in a local straight club, but also you can play with the guys so that you're feeling safe. That you're safe at training, not being hassled, safe when you're competing. But also, the gay clubs, they'll be out there competing with the straights out there in the community in competition, such as the swimming club. They compete against the straight clubs and the runners. And we're pretty much accepted out there, aren't we, Stuart?
We are. And within QSAM, are there any goals that we're leading up to now as a alliance?
QSAM is there as sort of like a host city team for what's called the First Asia Pacific Out Games, which are being held next February.
Now, you're wearing a shirt of this. Can I show everyone that?
Yes, you can.
It's a very nice top. And turning around.
Yes.
There are our dates.
Yeah.
Culture, Human Rights and Sport, 30 January to 3 February 2008. Any more information? www.melbourneoutgames.org.
If you're queer and would like to get active, then contact QSAM on 0411 286 788 and visit their website www.queersportsmelbourne.org.
The games are going to be on in Melbourne from January 30th to Feb 3rd, and we're really wanting you all to come down and play with your neighbours.
Discover the boys.
Discover the girls.
But, discover all the secrets of Melbourne, whether it's the clubs, whether it's the bars, the beaches, and don't forget we've got the Midsumma Festival.
So register now, www.melbourneoutgames.org.
Welcome to Studio Q as we await the launch of Kylie Minogue's latest album, X. In store, of course, we're going to check out the buzz that's going on. Some of the people we'll even interview, of course, that have been waiting for and queuing up for this particular release. In a matter of moments, 12 midnight tonight is the release of this particular album. Also, we have a very interesting exhibition that we'd like to experience and certainly share with you. One that has been put together over 20 years. Certainly some very, very priceless pieces, I might say, that are part of this collection. So come on in, let's check out what's happening here today, of course, for the exclusive launch of Kylie Minogue's X. We are indeed in the presence of a very important person who has got a fabulous exhibition in regard to Kylie Minogue memorabilia. Of course, that is Troy Walker. We'd like to welcome him, of course, here tonight for this auspicious occasion.
Thank you.
Indeed. Look, tell us a little bit about your exhibition. Of course, it's certainly full and jam-packed full of all kinds of knickknacks.
To be honest, I didn't realise I had so much stuff until I put it all together. I don't have posters on my walls and I don't have it on display, but it's all neatly packed away. Put it on display for the public to see, and I've collected a bit of stuff over 20 years.
So 20 years worth of collecting. How much would you say you've actually put into this effort?
It's been a steady process over there. I mean,
priceless might be the best way to, of course.
I don't know how much it's worth, but I don't want to think about it.
Other areas that you've travelled to for Kylie concerts?
No, all around, well, not all around Australia, parts of Australia.
Yeah.
And Berlin, Oberhausen, Hamburg in Germany.
Now, I believe there was a very interesting episode in Germany. Would you like to tell us a little bit about that?
I met Kylie for the second time.
Yeah.
In Hamburg, second show over there, the Fever Tour. By chance, waved my Australian flag around and got backstage, and
as every, of course, proud Australian travels with the flag.
Kylie loved the idea that I travelled all that way and was quite taken back by the idea that I was from Melbourne. And as you'll see in the exhibition, that flag signed by Kylie herself.
Okay, yeah. Now, I have actually seen this exhibition for myself, and I'm sure we're going to cover that for you very shortly. Some of the pieces, some of your favourites, what would they be? I mean, we have, pardon me for interrupting again, but CDs, vinyl, DVDs, T-shirts, badges, programs, stickers, toys. I mean, it's endless.
Yeah.
The collection that you've got together. What would be your favourite pieces?
Kylie Event water from the Fever Tour, where it has Kylie's name on the bottle.
Was that sold at the concert?
They weren't sold. They were actually available on the European leg of the Fever Tour.
And how many of those were
I believe there was only 10,000 of them, so I was lucky to...
Collectible?
Yes, lucky to have one of those. A box of matches from America that were released for the Fever DVD in the States. The date on the back side of the matches was actually my birthday.
Coincidental?
Yes.
I'm sure.
Very nice. Had to have them. And one of my other favourites would have to be the promo for Dancing Queen, which a friend actually gave me. I dreamt about owning it for years. I've never seen one, and then...
So tell me about the promo. What is the promo?
A promo is where a track might be released to radio, might be before a single release, or on the instance of Dancing Queen, it went to radio but wasn't actually a single release.
Right, limited edition?
So, well, they're a limited number made just
only
to...
sent out for the market.
Radio stations and things, yep.
Right.
And yeah, so if you're in possession of something like that, it's very collectible.
The photos.
Yes.
Photos of yourself with Kylie as well. Now, tell us about meeting Kylie Minogue.
Met her twice now. Once was here in Melbourne. The second time was in Germany, as I said. The first time it was a fleeting moment. I think it was 30 seconds, and it was. I remember I had my book signed "Dreams Come True,"
right?
And she asked me if she wanted that made out to anyone. But at the time in my life, that was exactly what it meant. It was a dream coming true. So that's what I had her scribe on the book.
Watchers, please. I'm sure we are very close to the release time.
Away,
I bet you've already got your album locked away on site to be the first song. We are indeed in the presence of two more lucky, of course, purchasers in regard to the Kylie album. Show off this T-shirt, of course. I'm sure you are one to be proud. How long have you followed Kylie?
Since I was like baby. Yeah.
Tiny, nothing but a munchkin.
I haven't really heard too much of it yet, but I've read little snippets. It's amazing. Love Kylie. Biggest fan ever.
Been a fan for a while?
Yes, so many years. Yeah.
Got post. I thought this was for Daddy. What was that one?
That's the deluxe version.
The deluxe version.
Yeah.
Well, of course, that's... When it comes to, of course, her shows, how many of those have you visited along the way?
I've been to every tour that she's ever done.
Every tour?
Right back from the start from the Enjoy Yourself tour after a release of her second album. Enjoy Yourself, Rhythm of Love, Intimate and Live, On a Night Like This, Light Years Fever. Body Language is the only show I didn't see, but that was because it was a one-off in Europe.
Right.
And then, of course, Showgirl recently.
Wow, I tell you, I honestly have to say I've never met anyone as devoted as you are, of course, to Kylie Minogue herself. That wraps up tonight's event here, of course, in Paran, the exclusive launch of Kylie Minogue's album X. We'd also like to just congratulate Peter from Paran for being the winner of our Priscilla contest. We hope you have a great time at the theatre, certainly one that I envy. I wouldn't mind coming along if you haven't got anyone to share the date with. But of course, it is our very last show for the year. We hope you will indeed lock in and certainly check out some of our shows over the summer period. 2008 is looking to be a bigger and better year for Ben TV. My name's Chris Goodall. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, and have a safe and prosperous New Year.